talking about, we're going to go ahead and discuss this, man, because this is a really big or a huge issue amongst the community now. And I think that it is a very important topic to talk about. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it.
Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them.
So the one thing that I'm going to say before I start saying this is there's a lot of women on this app who advocate for women. If you don't like my pick me ass, if you don't like my men's mental health matters, bye. Little whore, scroll, leave. Nobody wants you here anyway. But if you're like me and you care about men's mental health and you care about being a good woman in the future to a man and you actually want a relationship, remember, there's some people who don't want relationships. So this is probably not for you. And the girls who actually want a good man in the future, we here. But men, I really care about your mental health and I really care about who you guys are with and what happens to you, because the men's suicide rate is way higher than women's. I talk about this so much, it's like annoying, but anyway, the one thing I'm going to say is, men, it's crucial to be careful with who you surround yourself with and what type of women you get with, because you do not want to be a provider for the wrong woman. It is okay to provide, take care of her, pay all the bills, do all that, but make sure that that woman is doing your laundry, taking care of the home, praying with you. When you leave, your balls are drained. When you leave, you got meal prep. When you leave, you got things done for you. She's your peace. She's your baby. When you think about her, you have a sense of like, I want to take care of her. I love her. I want that for you guys. I don't want women out here being nice to you when you have money, treating you like crap, verbally abusing you, taking advantage of you, you wondering whether you're worthy enough. How sad is that? Imagine being in a relationship with a woman and you have to wonder if she likes you. Or, oh, you know what? Like, I want to know if I'm good enough for her. That's a fucked up feeling. And I know a lot of women on here are like, pick me this, pick me that. How the fuck is that a pick me? You guys are so sick in the head that you don't want a man to be taken care of properly because you've been hurt by one? Be quiet. Please make sure the woman you are with is the woman that's going to have your back when shit goes down. So if you lose your job, is she going to help you take care of the bills until then? Is she going to build you up, help you look for jobs, etc., whatever? Or if, say, something happens to you, get sick, you get cancer, something like that, is she going to be able to step in and take care of you? And if she isn't, that's probably not the woman for you. You want a woman who's independent and has her own bag. You guys want to have your own assets. So when you guys come together, you guys are a fucking power couple. You don't want a leech. You don't want an emotionally unavailable woman. You don't want a mean woman. You don't want a woman who's going to take advantage of you, especially when you're going to be giving more than she can give. That's fucked up. Don't ever do that to yourself, and don't put yourself in those type of situations. Make sure the woman that you get with allows you to be vulnerable, allows you to share things with her without throwing it in your face, without sabotaging the relationship. Make sure that the woman that you get with is your safe space, your safe haven. Make sure that woman puts all those bitches in your past to fucking shame, because you deserve it. You are the prize. You're worthy. I don't care what anybody says. Men, mental health matters. I love you guys. Have a good one.
This is why it's important for the men to run their household, to run their families, because of the simple fact that they're going to be sure, that they run it in a certain direction to where men aren't going to be as emotional as a woman is going to be. So they're going to do things that'll teach this young man how to be useful in society and how to remain focused on a goal or be strong to fight through certain situations that may be difficult for them to overcome. And as Jordan Peterson once said, you got to have your dragons. You got to have your monsters to fight, to do battle with, to overcome. A man needs that. A man needs sacrifice, and a man needs to be able to slay whatever dragon is in front of them. And it just feels so much better when you've accomplished something that you felt may have been extremely difficult, and you came out on the other end very successful. So I'm trying to tell you now, whenever it comes to you thinking or feeling like, man, this is difficult, life is tough, and you're feeling alone, find some people to lean on, find somebody to lean on, but also at the same time, know that once you fight past those feelings, you're going to come out on top. You're going to feel so much better. than if you were to unalive yourself or something like that and try to end it. No, you're going to feel tremendously better. Just start seeking out information. Start seeking out things that you can learn to help you be more, to give you more progress, to give you more healing, to be able to help you grow more. Seek out the Most High, seek out, spiritual aspects of things, because a lot of times these young men and these men, they don't have that spiritual guidance coming from the Father above.
And now we've removed all standards from everybody. This is why you get school shooters. These school shooters should be too embarrassed to even embarrass their fathers. They should wake up and go, I would never do this to my family. This is definitely gonna get me canceled, but I'm gonna say it because it's true. I'll say it by extension for suicide. I don't care what you do to me. I'm Andrew Tate. I cannot kill myself. I can't. I'm not allowed. It's against the creed of my last name. I didn't have ancestors who suffered how they suffered, who went through what they went through, for me to be born to kill myself. That's not the end of my story. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. No matter how bad it gets or what bad situation I'm in, I refuse to do it because I have too much respect for my last name. I won't do it. And I think that a lot of things, a lot of men's mental health, a lot of crises can actually just come back to the old adages of honor.
Like, taking a moment to be able to talk to them, or at least think about them, meditate on it, and knowing that there's a higher power there that's going to see you through everything that you're going through, that's going to be there for you, then a lot of times it makes a world of a difference. But when you don't have that, and you don't have those principles, then you do feel alone. And no, the Most High is not going to stay with you. He's going to allow you to have that reprobate mind, and he's going to let you go your way. But if you hear his voice and you hear him calling, you can be able to listen and heed what he has to say, stop and talk to him and get some strength from him. Stand on his principles, stand on his morals, on his values, and he'll lift you up every time. A lot of times he will bring you through something to try to get you to turn. You have opportunities to turn and be able to do what you have to do, but he's giving you choices. Once he gives you the choice, you got to make the choice to go left or right. And that's what he wants you to do. Now, he wants you badly to go right because that's the right direction to go in. And he really wants you to go there, but he's not going to tell you to go there. He needs you to willingly say, he's going to show you how beautiful that route is. He's going to show you how great things could be if you just go that way. He's putting so much information out here for you to study and read on that comes from the patriarchs before you, or the ancestors before you, who have shown you many examples as to what you can do and what life can be. If you follow him, he wants you to take that route. But if you feel as though the world is going to offer you more and you prefer to take the route that's to the left, then he's going to allow you to take that route as well. Same thing I always tell people, they like, well, there's so much bad stuff that go on in this world, and people, murder people all the time. Why ain't the Most High stopping them? Why ain't God stopping them from doing what they're doing? Well, and I would tell them this. The Most High has put certain things in their path. It could have been an animal, like a cat or a dog or something like that, to give it an opportunity to choose to harm this animal or to help this animal. Which one would you like to do? He's done his best to be able to get that person to do something different other than what they've been doing. Teach them or coach them to do is the moment that they've made their choice, whether they wanted to become that serial killer or whether they wanted to become a better person in life. So Most High puts those things in their path to get them to make choices or decisions. Now it's totally up to them with what decision they would have to make.
Men just kill themselves and no one cares. We need to change it. There's no funding for men's mental health, and it's the biggest killer for men between like 21 and 45. And no one talks about it. No one even mentions it, lad. Women talk to each other. There's no stigma on women. They sit around and have a cup of tea. Men don't, lad. Men feel like, I can't go and say that to him because he'll think I'm a little mushroom. You know what I mean? That's what men think. But as I said in the cage, I'd much rather my friend come to me and speak to me and cry on my shoulder than me have to cry when I'm carrying his coffin a week later. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to reiterate a few things. Of course, when it comes to the men, yes, they need help and guidance as far as what can and cannot. They need help and guidance. They need help and guidance And it is quite a bit of them who are choosing to check out, but it's just this prematurely, and they're not understanding that it's beautiful things that are to come once they overcome the hardship. And the Most High is not going to put them through certain things that they know they couldn't handle. If he know that you can handle it, he'll put you through it, and he definitely wants you to prove yourself. But just know that you're going to have to go through that, weather that storm, and come out on the other side. And I'm sure you'll be able to grow, and you'll be great. So just got to tap into the energy. This is the reason why, though. This is the reason why a lot of men may feel like the right choice would be to commit suicide or unalive themselves and just say, forget it. Whereas they're, this is just a cowardly way to leave. That's a cowardly way to go. As men, we need to be more stoic. We need to be stronger. We need to be the ones who can go through these things and suffer and come out, on top. And it just really speaks to volumes to who you are, as a man, and what you can accomplish. And by any means, don't be, prideful about anything. Reach out if you can. You have people you can reach out to them. But what I'm saying is that handle it. Don't think that you're suffering too much to where you can't, you just don't want to suffer anymore. And then these are some of the problems. But there's solutions to everything. There's a solution to every problem. And I believe that it can be fixed. It can be resolved. But we just got to be focused, right? You got to be focused on the goal. The goal is to accomplish the mission. And the mission is, whatever form of happiness that you see. And you got to seek that. When you seek it and you find it, I promise you that the Most High is always going to be the one who's behind it. Things are going to line up and fall into place wherever it needs to. And you're going to be successful in what you do because he's going to make it happen for you. He's the best of planners. He's going to be sure that you're good to go. So just keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. Don't go through out life not sure, not understanding what you should do and what you shouldn't do, like what you should do and what you shouldn't do. This is the reason why elders are extremely important in communities. Elders, the fathers, mothers as well, very important. These people are extremely important. And, I believe the society has taught us not to listen to older people and think that we are the ones who should know everything that we need to know about life. Whereas the older people, the hoary-headed fellas, hoary-headed people are going to be able to teach you so much more if you respect what they have to say, if you respect who they are. We got to get back to those roots of having those elders and those teachers around. And then we'll have less of these issues and mistakes that come from men and that come from women. The way the society's set up, we don't lean on each other. You can have a next door neighbor and your next door neighbor is a stranger. You don't know who they are and they don't know who you are and they don't have any motivation to try to get to know you. Because the way the society is very separate, to where if you go to other countries, in other countries, they're going to introduce themselves. They're going to try to know who you are. They would love to, They're very friendly. They'll be very friendly, and here in the U.S., of course, it's not so much like that. So, and, these are some of the things that are systematically done, and we have to understand it is very systematic. These things are done because it's easier to control the population who aren't strong or united. The reason why we were able to overthrow the British during the Boston Tea Party is simply because we had militia, and these men were extremely tight. They were very close, and we had a lot of them all over the country, right? And then, so that right there is a threat. To be able to build a militia like that is of its size, and how many people are in the U.S. compared to how many people are working for the government, it's like, you're going to be outnumbered 1 trillion times. This is the reason why they building AI and creating all of these bombs and creating AI machines that can hold weapons and things like that. They need soldiers. They need to be able to control the populace. So this is the reason why they have to build those things, because they need to even out the score more. And the best way they can do it is if they can have control over your mind, control your thoughts, control your speech and who you talk to, who you can relate to, whether you can be able to form militias or whether you can be able to have free speech or not. This is the reason why they have to do the things that they're doing, is because, it's coming down the pipe. I don't know if you guys see what's on the horizon, but I definitely see what's coming, and they're preparing you for what's to come. And so you got to understand what's going on and break out of the shell, wake up, and pay heed to it. Find you a group of men or a group of people who are like-minded and get with them and overcome a lot of the things that they're trying to teach you right now in society. This is extremely important because you can't do it alone. You against 10 other trained soldiers is not going to pan out for you very well. But you and a gang of 15, 20, 30 against trained, so that'll even the odds much more, and you'd have a better advantage. So they understand that is what is a potential threat and problem, especially here in the U.S. because just about a majority of people carry firearms, well, at least here in Texas, you know what I mean? Majority of people carry firearms. There's a lot of firearms out here that are privately owned by people on the land. And it stops them from doing a lot of things because it could be a lot of armed people who are really upset. This is the reason why they started to attack your guns. And then what did they do? They launched a slew of different school shootings that took place. And these school shootings were launched one by one to try to come for your guns, to come take your Second Amendment. And, of course, fought, very valiantly. No, we're not going to give in to Second Amendment, revocation or taking away our right to private firearms, and still fighting a good fight for it. But they still want them. They still need to take them because it's going to be easier to control the populace at that point. It's just going to make it so much easier for them. So trust me, there's still going to be things that's going to come up to where they feel like, okay, gun control is the best thing. But if you take a look at Chicago, you can tell and you see that gun control is not effective. It's not effective. It's very bad in Chicago. Take a look at California, parts in California. It's not effective. It's bad. The people who actually operate within the laws, confines of the laws, those are the only people that are going to suffer. The people who understand that they don't care about laws, they lawless. The lawless people, they operate outside of the law, so they're not going to care about toting, an automatic weapon, a Glock with a switch. They don't care about none of that. They're going to have everything that you don't have, and more. So it's really important that we continue to allow them to understand this is something that we're not going to budge on. Because if it's all about controlling the populace, this is what it is. And it starts with not only the men, it starts with the firearms, it starts with that too, but you do need the men to back up your ideology and what you're trying to fight for. You need to have men who are strong, who are stoic to back you up. It's just that simple. If you believe in something, as a woman, honestly, great, you can believe in it, you can fight for it, but when it comes down to laying down your life and actually going to bat for it, you need men. You need men who's going to be willing to do it, who's strong enough to do it, who's brave enough. And if the man is full of soy and estrogen, and he's not going to be brave, he's just not. There's not going to be a brave man you can find. He's wearing a dress, he's wearing high heels, he's too busy trying to be you. So you need somebody who's trying to be strong and stoic. Is somebody who's trying to, be a man, and not trying to be, a lady boy. So this is the type of people that you need around you to be able to protect your land, your everything. And so, if you're somebody who's fighting against men and how they carry themselves and what their standards are, apparently they can't have any standards. If you're somebody who's fighting against a man and telling him that he can't have standards or anything like that, or he can't be strong or, walk with pride, chest out, shoulders back, with confidence, and you say it's toxic masculinity, then you're part of the problem. And once they come for you, you're going to start looking for the same man you were bashing. You're going to look around for that man to be able to protect you. So just be careful as to who you talk about and what you're talking about. because I don't think men who are strong, as I'm talking about, I don't think that they're out here trying to find women to bash. I don't think that they're out here trying to find a toxic woman, toxic femininity, or anything like that. It all starts with the way that they spoke about. It all starts with the way they spoke about the men, you know. So, of course, these men are out here. They're building the infrastructure. They're building everything that we know today, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. It keeps society going and running smoothly. And, you know, of course, I'm going to play a clip from a guy who's talking about what they're currently doing over in the UK, which they recently passed a law stating that you cannot say certain things online or over the internet. And if you do, then you can be arrested for it. And you can serve jail time for saying certain things that they don't want you to say. So that means if you say anything against, you know, gender, changing, you know, somebody's gender and saying anything that's against it and don't support it, it's very possible that you can get arrested and put in jail. And so, you know, this right here is another attack on free speech, right? Because if they're doing it in the UK, who's to say that the rest of these countries ain't gonna join them in what they're talking and what they're doing? So you gotta be you gotta understand that that is a threat, and that could be a potential issue. So, you know, it's right there on the horizon. It's right across the pond. They just passed the law, and they're saying they're gonna hold social media platforms accountable for a lot of this stuff. And, you know, these are some of the things that, you know, we got to be cautious about. So, yeah, I just want to get on here real quick. And, you know, of course, periodically we're going to be dropping more live streams. There's going to be more coming. We're going to have more topics to talk about. I just thought I wanted to get on here and definitely do a live stream about these particular topics. We're going to dive into it more. I'm going to share more information with you in regards to it, data, statistics. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. Like I said before, we're going to bring a lot of different things that are going to be very edifying to you. And hopefully you can walk away with it and you can use that in your life, right? So just be on the lookout for a lot of these things. We're going to go over the different things that are tactical gear. Because, you know, one thing that I don't see is, you know, there's a bunch of channels out here who talk about these things. But, you know, influencers who speak about world issues, listen, men got to get back to getting their tactical gear and getting their armor together, like their suit of armor. That, you know, it's been decades and centuries that men have been, you know, having their own suit of armor and things like that they pass down from one generation to the next. And it's just not a thing anymore. I really do believe that we need to bring that back into culture to where men are actually gearing up and they have their own suit of armor to protect themselves and their family, because it's going to come down to the point where they're going to have no other choice. They're going to need these things in order to survive. So, yeah, we need to get back into it. So I'm going to go over some of the things that I do have. And I'm not ex-military or anything. I've learned a lot from various different men, things like that, who taught me, who showed me some things about what to do, what to purchase, how to purchase it. You know, so I'm just bringing that knowledge that I have to this platform. And hopefully I can get other people to bring their knowledge to this platform. Because if a man who served in the Marines for 20 years come and teaches me everything he knows, well, I just gained 20 years worth of knowledge in the span of a few months, maybe a year. You know what I mean? So we got to each one teach one. So yeah, if you got anything that you want to add on to that, anything you want to hear, if you really enjoyed listening to what I had to speak about today and you agree, please like this video. Comment below if you got anything to add on to it, you would like to share with the group, anything like that. If you want to share your story, just comment below. Let us know your story. Otherwise, you know, you can also hit that notification bell on your way out, so you can be able to get so you can get some of my updated information, things like that. When I drop a new video, you get notified. Otherwise, peace. I'm about to go ahead and jump on up off of here. All right, peace and shalom to y'all. Until next time.
Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent, or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop him. Do whatever you have to do to stop him.